Hello, fellow rosarians. Thank you for joining me today. I'm really excited because we are checking in on our pots and our bands. So I think this is the last piece of information that you need before I go through my entire analysis. We're going to do that in the next video where I give you my top picks for who to buy bare roots from, who to get your bands from, and who to get your gallons from. So today we're going to check in on the size for our bands and our pots, and I'm hoping for really good things, and I think you'll be surprised as I've been looking at around. Some of the vendors that I wasn't impressed with their unboxings, I think are doing really well. So before we get started, take a look at this hedge. Isn't this amazing? You know, every year as gardeners, we invest in something else. And I think about, you know, my driveway. One year I invested in crepe myrtles. I wanted to line the driveway. And then another year I wanted to do the limelights out front. And then another year, we've been here for 8 now, I did the limelights here. And I've been so happy with this pop of color because it carries you through as your roses start to go into, you know, a summer dormancy. And you don't have as many blooms, it's nice to have something to count on. So these blooms will be here now through about October, and Limelight changes from a light green, almost like a chartreuse, to a pink as it ages. Now I have had some years where they brown at the end of the season versus going to a pink, and that's because they don't get enough water. And that's my fault. And when I see that happen, I know that I should have had it on a drip through the season, or I should have been giving it water more often. But they still look beautiful and they're great for flower arrangements. And I like to take the cuttings from Limelights at the end of the season and put them in my tree. And you can spray them or keep them natural. It's really up to you. But if you remember, we did a video earlier in the season with this Limelight. It's one of our more seniors in the garden. I wanted to bring down the height of this one so that it matched the others in the line. And I think we're really close now that I won't need to take it down again. But if you look at the height on a Limelight, it's taller than me, and if I wanted to let this go, it would easily be 8 foot by 8 foot. So if you're looking for a really big bang for your buck, I would say get a hydrangea. I love Proven Winners. I love the Limelights, and Proven Winners has also come out now with an improved version, although I don't think there was much improvement that you could make on a Limelight, but it's called Limelight Prime. So check that out. And I think that the claim to fame for the Limelight Prime is that it's going to have stronger canes. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started now. So this little baby right here is Lillian Austin. So when I look at the height on this, I do have 2 canes that I've staked up just to give them a little bit of extra support, but it has been blooming great for me. And it is, let's give it 16 inches on the height, and the width at the widest point, although I have it staked up, you guys, 14 inches. Chianti, the height, approximately 23 inches. And at the widest point, it is 24 inches. This little pretty right here is South Africa. It's had a little bit of black spots, so you can see that I've had to defoliate the lower leaves. But let's look at the height. This is a whopping 31 inches. And let's look at the width. At the widest point, it is 24 inches. Ocean. And you remember how tiny that band was when it arrived? So the height on this right now is approximately 15 inches. There's not much width on it right now. It is staked up to give it some more support, and it's about 6 inches wide. So do you remember me sharing with you that one of my, well, 2 of my roses died over the winter, or at least I thought that they did. And so this was one of them, Dominic Sunset. And you can see that the measurement, I mean, it's just coming back, so it's not hardly worth measuring, but I'll go ahead and measure it so that we can add it to our tracking spreadsheet. But that's one of the amazing things about own root that I like, that if you're in an environment where it's really stressful, or you get a cold snap, those roots have the possibility, not always, of regenerating. And so that's what happened in this case. And so I've got an own root, Dominic Sunset, coming back. This is Rosie. She has been so pretty and her blooms are so huge. But she is 13 inches and then at the widest point, approximately 13 inches. This is Living Easy and she is 16 inches. And look at this. I've got some more blooms that are coming. And then the width on this at the widest point is approximately 16 inches. Oh Happy Day is also from Northland, and at its highest point it's over 9 inches, and at the widest it is approximately 10 inches wide. This one is going nuts. This is Bullseye. The height on this is almost 29 inches, and the width, my hydrangeas kind of getting in the way. I might have to move the Bullseye in the future. We'll do that in the fall. But at its widest point, it is 18 inches wide. Mr. Lincoln is right here, and he's got some burnt edges. He's feeling the heat here. This is 11 inches tall, and at the widest point, it is 13 inches wide. So for Heirloom Roses, you know I was not happy when I did their unboxing. We've got 3 roses from them. So this is my love song, and its height is 30 inches, and it's getting ready to give me several more blooms. I've got a little bit of black spot in this whole bed, but it's got some great fresh growth on it. So anyways, 30 inches by 23 inches on Love Song. We also got Tatin. This one has been plagued by black spot, and I've defoliated it, but it's 16 inches tall, 13 inches at its widest point. So this final one from Heirloom is Louis Clements, and let me move Easy Does It aside so that you can see. This one's highest point is 15 inches, and at its widest point, it is 17 inches. This pink bloom right here is Skylark. So I'm gonna push that away with my leg. This is Lorraine, and its height is 25 inches. And the overall width at the widest point is 20 inches. Okay, so this is from Chambly. This whole shrub right here is Cream Veranda. At the highest point, and I've got a bloom up here, is 22 inches. This is a big one. Let me look around it here. It is 23 by 24. So let's say 24 at the widest on that one. Okay, so I've got 2 here. This is First Crush Parfuma, and this Queen of Denmark is kind of getting in the way, so let me put my leg here. This is 23 inches tall, and at the widest point, it is 25 inches wide. This little baby right here is Savannah, so she's a little bit smaller. At the height, it is 13. And then the overall width is approximately 20 inches. This is Souvenir de Baden-Baden, and the width is all the way over here. It is 27 inches wide, and the height at the highest point is going to be 20, let's just say 20 inches on this. Now keep in mind, you guys, that this is a Fortuniana stock. So we're going to expect that this is going to be the tallest out of everything that we look at today. This and the next row is Lady McGinch. So please keep that in mind as we're looking at this, that everything else that we're reviewing is own root, and this is going to be bigger. Let's check out the other one. So you guys, this rose is so funny to me. I'm not sure if anybody else has Lady of McGinch, But you see, I've got it up on 4 stakes because it's so wiry and octopus-like. So it'll really be interesting to see if this thing fills out. But it's very tall, as I mentioned, because it's on the Fortuniana rootstock. I'm going to have to take special care of it during the winter. So the height on this beauty is 39 inches at its highest point. The overall width of this thing, 27 inches for the width. Plumb perfect. Plumb perfect. We'll say 11 inches. And then the width on this from the widest point is 16.5 inches. Look at all of these blooms on mother of pearl, and her color is just really striking. It's got the reverse on the underside there. So at the highest point, we'll take it up to these blooms here, 19 inches. At the widest point, this is a wide rose. Let's see, I'm trying to keep this one out of it. 33 inches. Marmalade Skies is 16 inches tall, and at the widest point, it is approximately 18 inches. Okay, Cinco de Mayo. It's got a bloom on the top here, so we'll take it up to that bloom. It is 23 inches, and from the widest point, it is 26 inches on Cinco de Mayo. Okay, Souvenir de los Amade. If I take the height on this cane here, a little bit of a cheat, that's 17 inches, and the overall width is 20 inches. This is Madame Figaro, and I've put her on a little bit of a support. So let me find her highest point. We'll go with this cane right here. And so she's up to about 25 inches. And at the widest point, okay, this is Neptune, and it is 22 inches tall. Let me get the width on this one because it's stretching back here a bit. 21 inches at its widest point. Okay, Bella de Tode here, 22 inches. And it really doesn't have a lot of width on it. It only goes to here, so we're going to give it 11 inches wide. Okay, Violet's Pride is 18 inches. It's not very wide. At the widest point, it is 12 inches. Let's look at Poseidon. I've got, this is definitely going to move this fall. This is a lilac, so ignore that. But the rose is coming up to about the same height on this one right now. So this is 19.5 inches, and at the widest point, it is 20 inches. Okay, Jean Giano, it is at its highest point, looks like about right here. It is 13.5 inches, and the widest is at 17.5 inches. This barely fits into the picture because it's so tall. This is Elizabeth Stewart, and it is very happy over here near our shade garden. It is 43 inches tall, which is absolutely amazing. Unprecedented when you put it against the Lady McGinch that's on Fortuniana. The width on this is 22 inches. We've got one more. This is the last one, Grasson Kahlberg, and let's get a height here. I've got a bloom, and it is almost 24 inches. And for the width, we are at 29 inches for the widest point. So wasn't that fun going around and measuring everything this season so we could check on the bare roots? That it just depends on the variety. It depends whether or not it's a grafted or an own root. The environment, is it getting more nutrients and water? Is it in a hot environment? All of that stuff factors into the size of your rose. But you'll be able to track everything, and if you're keeping a tracking spreadsheet, you'll be able to see what's performing best in your particular environment. So keep in mind that the K&M roses are grafted. Everything else that we're doing today is own root. So my expectation was that K&M was going to be the tallest, and I am so surprised that the roses from, I think it's A Reverence for roses, are even bigger. Amazing. So it's a fun little experiment, and I'm sure my neighbors think that I'm crazy, but I hope that you will track your roses and have fun doing your own experiment. So if you would, please subscribe. And the reason why I ask you to do that is because you'll get that alert if you hit the alert button. I'm going to be doing in my, at least probably the next video that I do, we're going to do the complete analysis of the unboxing, the quality of the roses, the height, the warranty, everything together, and pick my top 3 or 4 for each of the different varieties to help you with your ordering. I hope this video is helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.